Welcome back to Dubsy Bricks for another Gotham City update. And this week I want to concentrate on the raised platform area. So I'm going to take part of this over to my table and start working on that. And what I want to do is put the tunnel out over the back there. I'm probably going to move that section further down, so I need to do a new section for here. And I want to put the brick walls around this area, get it raised up to the correct height, give it the structural supports that it's going to need for the raised platform that's going to be going on top of it, and try and get it as ready as possible for buildings to go on. I want to try over the next few weeks to get this entire raised platform up to the correct height, and as I said, hide all of the filler brick and get it ready for those plates. Once I've done that, and I've done the raised road, which I'd also like to do a bit of work on this week, then I can start to do the supports for the raised train line. And that is one thing I would like to get put in the city quite soon. As once I've got the raised train line in, then I'll be able to design the buildings around that train line. So I need to make sure that I don't do buildings which is going to make it impossible for the train to go around the city. So anyway, let's take one of these sections over to the table. And here is the next section of tunnel. So the curved one that I did use in the cylinders a couple of weeks back, that's going to connect to this section, or a similar design to that. And on this one, I've just used some snot bricks with some cheese wedges on there to give a staggered effect. You're only actually going to be seeing this part of the tunnel probably from this angle here, and that's all you actually see of it. So that's why, as you see around the back there, I haven't gone all the way with the wall. Now I've plated this off here, and I'll put some tiles on the top of that. Then what I'll be doing is just resting a roof piece on there. Might connect it by a couple of jumper plates or just a couple of studs. And then I'm going to carry on building the pillars up, and then we'll have some support beams going across, which I'll tile, and then that's what the mills plate will rest on top of. And I've just put 2 bricks across there, and that's just to keep the walls the perfect distance apart. This stud here, that's where we're going to be building our external grey wall on. So we've got plenty to carry on with this section. So let's get that all done, and I'll check back in once we've done so. And there is the outer wall of the raised platform, and this is a part that's going to be facing Ace Chemicals. And I put some snot bricks on here, and I'm going to attach some plants of some description, so it's like it's coming up the wall. Just put a very few bits of coloration in there, as this is going to be touched around the corner. So I think just having the plants going up there, that'll be sufficient for that detail wise. Not sure what I'm going to be putting on the bottom section just here yet, so we'll just leave that plain for the time being. And this is all at the same level now, so all I need to do is just tile it off, and then it'll be ready for the plate to sit on top of that. So let's move this back over to the table and bring the next section over. And the next section's well underway here, and this is the next one along that then comes round to the front of the mock. So we're just going to continue putting the arches along here. I wasn't going to bother putting the arches on the front of it initially. However, on this particular part, I think it's going to look quite good, as I don't think it's going to be room for any buildings. So I think I might put some trees in front of this, or something else, whether it's like newspaper stands or something. I'm not sure yet, but yeah, I thought it'd be nice just to have those arches on there, just to give the raised platform area just a little bit more detail. But anyway, let's carry on building this up, and once I've done so, we'll move both sections over to the table and see how it looks. And I need to come to a decision on how I'm going to be doing at the top of the raised platform. I'm planning on having the very top of it covered in rows of the 2x8 plates. And originally what I was going to do was tile over the top of the plates with the 2x4 tiles, and then make a mills plate using 2 sets of plates and some bricks in the middle to help give it the strength. Then they would just rest on top of the tiles. I'd have a 2 brick high perimeter around the top of the raised platform area. That would make them the same height, and then I would just tile the 2 together, and that would be job done. Then if I did ever need to get to below the raised platform area, it would just be in a case of removing the tiles, and that was the raised platform section would have come off. The other option I've got is I could go for 2 plates and a brick, and use an actual base plate made into a mills plate. And again, if you do that, they are perfectly flush. So I just need to work out which option I think is the best. If I fill a pick brick box up and do it really carefully, I can fit, I think it's the equivalent of 3 large base plates into 1 pick brick box. So that works out at €20. So it's the equivalent of 6.67 per large base plate. However, obviously, if I do it this way, a large base plate's €15 each. So it is a lot cheaper that way. However, I have got 8 normal base plates spare at the moment and 1 large one. So I'm thinking it may possibly be worth doing a combination of the two. But so I just want to share what I'm thinking of with how I'm actually going to be covering the top of the raised platform and the techniques I'm considering using. And there are the 2 sections all in place, and I have extended the water section there by 4 studs, and I think this alleyway here is going to be quite good for doing some crime of some description down there. I'm going to put a lot more details in. There's going to be a wall along there, but I want that to look like a really run-down section. And in this part here, we're going to be having the spillage from Ace Chemicals. So it's going to start off behind the building, then it will overspill into the water just there. Now the bricks on here, I've gone as far as I can for the time being. The majority of the bricks and plates I'm using on this section are readily available on the pick a brick wall. However, the 2x2 slopes I've decided to use on here as well, unfortunately I've become really low on those and I'm struggling to find them, so I'm going to need to order in a load more of those so I can carry on with that design along there. Now I'm going to be coming to whereabouts that blue plate there just starts, so I'm going to continue the arches there, and then that's when the arches will stop. Along here it's just going to be a plain wall, as I'm going to be putting the modular buildings I build all the way along that section. But yeah, it's nice to see the filler brick and the filler plate being covered over at long last. Next up, I'm going to turn my attention back to the raised road section just here. I found the plates out to do, I think it's about another 8 sections of that. And here are the next 3 sections of raised road all in place, and they're just resting there at the moment. What I've done with each of these sections is I've put some tiles on the end just there, so it just slides in there nicely. And how I'll be connecting them, I'm going to change over these 2 masonry bricks here for snot bricks, and then put another 2x4 tile in there, as well as a 1x4 tile on the bottom. That way it clip it all together nicely. However, if I do ever have to remove sections of the road, it's very easy to take them apart. And they will also be attached to the uprights that are below there. The road section on here, I just need to carry on building that all the way along, but I'll attach everything together properly once I've done the bottom section, the road below it, and also the tiling of the pavements. But yeah, really happy with how that's coming along. What I'm going to turn my attention to now is I'm just going to start having a look at how I'm going to do the slip roads, which lead from the upper section to the lower. And here we have the start of the slip road. It's 8 studs wide. The main road is 16, so I thought by going by half that would work out perfectly. And I've just connected it using these clip pieces here, and it's worked out perfectly. I can put a brick wall on here, and there's almost no gap at all between that slope and the wall that I carry on building on there. And that's purely luck. It wasn't planned. I just need to build a wall or a support structure underneath this section just here. I'll probably put some arches of some description. 45-degree angle there so that the roads merge into each other. And I also need to modify the supports under here. At the moment, these hang out by 1 stud, which is stopping me from putting the road right over where it needs to be. So at the moment, it is overhanging by 1 stud. So I just need to design a new support structure for this end, and I want it to actually take some of the weight of the road, and I'll probably put another one halfway down as well. But yeah, there it is. Anyway, let's start working on the support structure here and do the required modifications for the 45-degree angles on the top. And it's been fun and games trying to get this all together, but we're finally making some progress with the support structure of the slip road section just here. I do want to add some more details onto the pillar just there, and again I will do the same along that part. The side bits here, I was hoping to get those done, but I'm just running low on the pieces I actually need to make the job look as best I possibly can, basically. And one thing I am considering doing is adding a row of grey, dark bluish grey plate below the entire road section there. That way, what I can then do is tile off this section just here using the 45-degree tiles, and then I'll be able to put a brick-built road at an angle on some hinge pieces. That way I can then keep the same style as what I've got on there. But as I said, I'm running low on certain pieces, so I would need to order those in to enable me to do that. Now these slip road sections here, they take up such a lot of space, and it's best part of 2 large grey base plates. So for example, it can't go here as the cars would end up in the water section just there. So I need to bring it across a fair bit. And what I'm considering doing is just modifying the look of this section here and going over the road with it. And I thought that might look quite good. And that way, then the road will come down here and then it will just be able to go off. So I could just modify this junction at the end there. The opposite side, it shouldn't be too much trouble at all, as there is just a pavement over there at the moment. But yeah, it's been great fun trying to get to sort this challenge out. Do need to try and get a little bit more strength in the wedge plates on the edge there. They are quite flimsy. There's only a couple of connection points there at the moment, but I'm sure once I put some tiles on the top, that's going to help to clip it all together. But yeah, we might end up just modifying the underneath of it just a little bit. Anyway, that's all we have time for. I hope you've enjoyed the update. If you have, please remember to give us a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content on the channel. And if you know anybody else you think would be interested in building Gotham, if you could share the channel with them, it would be much appreciated. Anyway, thanks for popping on by. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.